Phoenix Raceway had barely cooled down before the NASCAR world was already talking. What unfolded on that 1-mile oval in the Arizona desert was one of the most chaotic, dramatic, and ultimately unforgettable Cup Series races in recent memory. 12 caution flags, tyre failures at every turn, a lead change that rewrote the storyline with just 10 laps to go. And standing at the centre of it all was Ryan Blaney, the number 12 Ford Mustang, and a performance that nobody saw coming in quite that way. Welcome back to the channel. If you love NASCAR the way we do, today's breakdown is going to hit different. Because what happened at Phoenix was not just a race win, it was a rescue mission, a masterclass in patience, and a declaration that Ford and Team Penske are ready to run with anyone in 2025. Let us set the scene. Going into Phoenix, Tyler Reddick had been absolutely on fire. 3 wins to open the season. 3 dominant performances that had the NASCAR community buzzing about something special, something historic. Could Reddick actually win 4 consecutive races to start a season? The answer, it turned out, was no. But the man who stopped him had to fight through one of the most brutally difficult race days anyone on that grid had experienced in a long time. Ryan Blaney is no stranger to big moments. He is a champion, a winner, a driver who has shown time and again that he can rise when the stakes are highest. But Phoenix handed him a day that tested every bit of that championship pedigree. Tyre problems. Multiple tyre problems. The kind of issues that end races before they really begin. And yet every single time the number 12 team was forced to respond, they did. Every single time the race threatened to slip away, Blaney found a way to hold on, adapt, and keep moving forward. And moving forward is exactly what he did. Throughout the entire event, Ryan Blaney passed 49 cars. 49. Think about that number for a moment. That is not a race strategy. That is an odyssey. That is a driver weaving through the field, again and again, working his way back up through the order every time misfortune knocked him down. It is the kind of statistic that tells you everything about what kind of day it was and everything about the character of the driver behind the wheel. Now, to understand what made this race so wild, you have to understand what happened with the tyres. Phoenix Raceway chews up tyres on a normal day, the abrasive surface, the banking, the speeds the cars reach through the turns. It is already a demanding track in the best of conditions. But on this particular Sunday, conditions were far from best. 12 caution flags flew over the course of the race, and a significant number of them were caused by tyre failures. Drivers were blowing tyres at alarming rates. Cars were going from contenders to disasters in the blink of an eye. The whole field was on edge, and the strategy calls happening on pit road were some of the most intense, high-pressure decisions teams had made all season. The chaos was not limited to tyre failures. One of the most significant moments of the afternoon came when Joey Logano and Ross Chastain got together, triggering a multi-car accident that reshaped the running order and sent shockwaves through the field. Incidents like that, in a race already on edge due to tyre concerns, can completely alter the trajectory of a day. Cars that had been running cleanly and confidently suddenly found themselves navigating damage or worse. The Phoenix race was in every sense a survival test. Among those caught up in that crash was Anthony Alfredo, who was behind the wheel of the number 48 car filling in for Alex Bowman. Bowman, dealing with vertigo, was unable to compete, and Alfredo stepped in for what turned out to be one of the more chaotic afternoons Phoenix had seen in years. Alfredo ultimately finished 33rd, a race day that ended far earlier than anyone in that camp would have wanted. That kind of moment puts things in perspective. NASCAR is not just a sport where the fastest driver wins. It is a sport where preparation, luck, timing, and the ability to survive the unexpected all factor into the final result. And nobody embodied that lesson more fully on this day than Ryan Blaney. As the laps wound down and the field began to thin out among the truly competitive cars, the battle at the front was fierce. Ty Gibbs had been running strong, and with the race moving into its final stages, he was positioned to make a real run at a victory of his own. But with 10 laps remaining, Ryan Blaney made his move. He got to Gibbs, he found the line, and he completed the pass that would prove to be the race-winning move. The number 12 Ford surged to the front, and from that point forward, Blaney never looked back. When the checkered flag flew, it was Ryan Blaney crossing the line first, taking the 18th victory of his NASCAR Cup Series career, and delivering something that was more than just a win on the points table. This was the first victory of the 2025 season for Ford, the first win for Team Penske. And in a sport where momentum and confidence are as important as horsepower, those facts carry enormous weight. Behind Blaney, the finishing order told its own story. Christopher Bell came home in second place, a strong result for the number 20 Joe Gibbs Racing Toyota, and a sign that Bell remains one of the most consistent performers in the series. Kyle Larson, the defending champion, rounded out the top three in third. Larson had been in the hunt, as he almost always is, and a podium finish at Phoenix keeps his season moving in the right direction, even without a win. Ty Gibbs, who had led laps and been in position to win before being overtaken by Blaney in those final laps, settled for fourth. It was a result that showed the speed in the Gibbs camp and a run that, under different circumstances in those closing laps, could have gone the other way. And Denny Hamlin, the veteran who continues to rack up top fives and remind everyone that he is still a force in this sport, rounded out the top five with a fifth-place finish. Meanwhile, Tyler Reddick's bid for history came to an end. 4 straight wins to start a season would have been one of the most remarkable feats in modern NASCAR. It did not happen in Phoenix, but Reddick's 3-win streak to open the year is still a remarkable achievement, and nobody in the paddock is writing him off as a championship threat. Far from it. What this race ultimately confirmed is that the 2025 NASCAR Cup Series season is wide open. Reddick showed he could dominate early. Blaney showed he could overcome adversity and steal a race on sheer determination. Bell and Larson proved they are right there in the mix, and the tyre chaos at Phoenix served as a reminder that even the best laid plans can unravel in an instant on a Sunday afternoon at the racetrack. For Team Penske, this result is validation. For Ford, it is a statement, and for Ryan Blaney, it is another chapter in a career that continues to grow and impress. The man fought through tyre problems, passed 49 cars, and found a way to lead when it mattered most. That is what champions do. Now, the NASCAR Cup Series does not stop to catch its breath. The next stop on the schedule is Las Vegas Motor Speedway, and if you think Phoenix was wild, Las Vegas has its own reputation for producing unforgettable racing moments. The 1.5-mile oval in the Nevada desert is a totally different challenge than the 1-mile track in Arizona, and every team will be recalibrating, recalculating, and pushing hard to find the performance they need. Will Tyler Reddick bounce back and remind everyone that his early season run was no accident? Will Ryan Blaney carry this momentum and put Ford in victory lane again? Can Christopher Bell or Kyle Larson grab their first win of the year? And will we see more of the drama and chaos that made Phoenix one of the most talked about races of the season so far? Las Vegas Motor Speedway is coming. The Pennzoil 400 is on the horizon. And based on everything we just witnessed at Phoenix, you do not want to miss a single lap of what comes next. Make sure you are subscribed, hit that notification bell, and we will see you right here when the NASCAR Cup Series rolls into Las Vegas. Until then, stay buckled up, because this season is just getting started.